It's there! Holy moly, this one's gonna go big!
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're thinking, come on, Degsy, that's a little bit of a clickbaity video title for you, just stick with me because I hope that by the end of this video, you will hope that my video title there, a life-changing win on DOA 2, is not over the top. So let me give you a little background to what I'm about to show you here. This is not my win, but it is the win of a friend of mine. This is a guy who I've known for nigh on 20 years now. He's a really nice guy. I've never met him in real life, although that's more by accident than design. We've said over the years, you know, if we're ever kind of in the same bit of the country at the same time, we're going to have to meet up and have a few beers together. It's never happened, but we have been in touch with each other. We message each other sometimes every few days, sometimes every few weeks. Sometimes we'll go for months without messaging each other. But one way or another, I've known this guy for 20 years, and you know, we kind of know stuff about each other. We know stuff about each other's families, how things are going in our lives, and all that kind of thing. And he has been really good. He's helped me out with quite a few things for the channel as well. There are several videos on the channel that frankly would not exist were it not for his efforts to give me a hand. However, last year, but sort of August, September last year, he found himself a little bit down on his luck. He had health issues in the family. He was having trouble finding work, which wasn't helped by the fact that he had health issues in the family. Things were getting a little bit tight financially for him, but he was kind of getting by. And we were pinging messages back and forth about other stuff as well. I was aware that not everything was brilliant with him, but he was kind of okay. However, one day he sent me a message. We were kind of pinging messages back and forth at the time about some other things. But then one day he sent me a message to... I think he was just basically telling me what had happened because he wanted somebody to talk to about it. Because, to cut a long story short, he'd lost a chunk of money playing online slots that he shouldn't have lost. It wasn't a huge amount. It was a few £100s. But because money was tight anyway, this was a few £100 that he really couldn't have afforded to lose because there wasn't regular income coming in at that moment in time. He wasn't, let me be clear about this, he wasn't asking me for money. It was not a message that was kind of like, oh shit, I need some money now, mate. It wasn't like that at all. I think he genuinely, I've read the message back to myself, by the way. I've still got all our messages. I've read it back to myself before recording this video, and he wasn't asking for money. I think he was genuinely just he wanted to unload and tell somebody what had happened, basically. So, yeah, he was feeling a little bit down. Like I said, there was illness in the family, the work wasn't regular, and he went to play some online slots for an escape, really, and I can understand that. And I should just say, the guy has had gambling issues over the years, if you're watching my videos, there's a good chance that you're in that camp, and I've certainly had my gambling issues over the years, so that's not a negative comment or a slur on his character or anything like that. It's just an observation that the guy has had gambling issues over the years, and unfortunately on this occasion they got the better of him, and he lost money that he couldn't afford to lose and kind of skinned himself. So even though he wasn't asking me for money, it was kind of obvious, okay, this guy could do with a few quid to tide him over. So I messaged him back. I said, oh, fucking hell, mate, that's shit. Really sorry to hear that. Do you need a bit of cash just to get you over the hump? I don't mind. And he said, well, look, I'm not asking, but if you could send us a bit, I'd really appreciate it because I'm in a bit of a hole at the moment. So I said, yeah, no problem, fella. Just send us your bank details and I'll get something baxed over to you. So he sent me his bank details, and I sent him £500. It's not a fortune, but I thought, well, he's got a bit of money coming in a couple of weeks' time, so just enough to get over that hump, make sure he's got money to take care of all the essentials, and that he's not in that situation where there's literally nothing in the bank. And he was very grateful for that. He said, thank you very much, really appreciate it. I said, no problem, dude, and don't worry about paying me back, in the near future, just as and when you can. I know things are a bit tight at the minute. Just pay me what you can, when you can. I'm not going to fucking hassle you for it. No problem. And from there, we went on. And true enough, he started bunging me the odd 20 quid from time to time. When he got a little bit of freelance work, he would bung me 20 quid. And then it'd kind of dry up for a couple of months, and he'd send me a message, I'm sorry I've not been paying you back recently, haven't had much work coming in. And I'd be like, look, seriously, fella, don't worry about it. It's just literally whatever you can when you can. I'm not in a big hurry for it. I'm not going to chase you for it. I was happy to lend you the cash in the first place. So there's no pressure. Just take care of yourself and your family first. And if there's a little bit left over and you feel minded to, just chuck a little bit my way. It's no big deal. And then just in the last month or so, things had a little bit of an upturn for him. He started to get a bit more work. There was more money coming in. And what he had then found was that he started to have a little bit of money left over for recreational activities. And he does like playing the online slots. And before anyone jumps in here and thinks, oh, hang on a minute, he still owes you money, he's playing online slots. That's a bit rich, isn't it? No, you know what? I don't mind. I am very much of the opinion that everyone deserves to have some certain basic things in their lives. That's food, that's shelter, that's warmth, all of life's necessities cared for, and a bit left over for treats. So I do not begrudge the guy in the slightest having a little bit of cash and online slots when he still owes me money. It doesn't factor in my thinking in this thing at all. You know, it's like if you're short of cash, you've got to be seen to be short of cash. You know, it's like that fucking horrible shit that the Daily Mail does when, you know, unemployed people on benefits dare to have mobile phones or anything that even remotely looks like a treat. And get some fucking humanity, will you, for fuck's sake. And then just a few days ago, he sent me a message to let me know how things were going, saying that work was picking up. He's going to be paying me back in bigger chunks from now on, and that he has been allowing himself a little bit of a gambling budget. But then he also said in this message, but I am actually in a position to pay the money I owe you in full later this evening, with a big smiley face. And I will then read the rest of his message out to you. So he says, I literally deposited £25 and started playing some low-stake machines. Not sure if you know of a game called Diamond Mine. I was playing on 20p stake and it landed a feature and paid over 100 quid. I was buzzing. I played a few other bits and pieces and ended up getting the balance near to £200 just playing low stakes. Surprisingly enjoyable. I decided after a couple of hours to call it a night, but just fancied a blast on the new Dead or Alive 2 machine. So from the off, I started on 45p spins. It was throwing in decent wins regularly, so the balance was hovering around £200. It wouldn't land the feature, but as I played on, it was running pretty hot. I did a cheeky raise to 90p stake, and again it was throwing in £20 wins. Then it landed a line of sheriff badges that I think paid over £100. Couldn't believe my luck. Must have been on it for over 45 minutes and decided it probably wasn't going to land the bonus, so was going to play it down to 200 quid and withdraw at that point for decent profit, when the bonus actually landed. I've seen streamers playing this machine and know it's a highly volatile game, all or nothing, so wasn't expecting anything really. Anyway, this is what happened. I didn't catch the recording at the beginning as it started off slow and suddenly took off. Check this out, dude. And then he sent me a link to a video on Dropbox, and that is the video that I'm going to play to you now. As you can see, we will be starting a few spins into the feature. So just to give some context here, he set himself very, very modest deposit limits to allow himself to have a little bit of fun with the online slots. He's deposited 25 quid. He's turned that into over £200, just playing low stakes, getting a nice little run. He's hit Dead or Alive 2, 45p to start with, and he's kind of going okay, but he can't land the feature. He's getting some decent hits in the base game, which is keeping his balance okay. He's then hit a £100 win in the base game after he's raised his stake to 90p. This is the key thing here. He's on 90p spins at this point, but then his balance is going down again, so he's decided in his head, when my balance gets down to 200 quid, I'm just going to make a withdrawal, and that's £175 profit. So he's down to his last sort of 10, 20 spins at 90p a go before he's already decided I am definitely going to make a withdrawal. And then this is what happens. I am going to shut the fuck up and just let you watch this. So I'll pick the feature up with 9 free spins remaining. And just for the record, of course, you can see already by the wilds on the screen that he has picked the most volatile of the 3 features. So here we go. That's an awful lot of wilds. Look at that. And there's another, my fucking god. And obviously, if you know the lines on this slot, you know that he is into obscene pay territory at this point. And do remember, he's on a 90p spin for a lot of the videos that we've seen for Dead or Alive 2. It's people down on 9p, 18p, 27p. This guy's on 90p a spin, and he's landed this. So there you go, and just for completeness, I will put some extra graphics on the screen, but that is £26,647 and 40 pence from a 90p spin. And to save you doing the sums, that is 29,608 times stake, and he's hit that on a 90p spin, which is why the pay there is over 26,500 fucking pounds. What an astonishing win that is. As I was reading through his message, I was thinking, okay, looks like he's won a couple of £100. Good result. Then I watched the fucking video, because he didn't put it in the message, because he knew Degsy's going to want to watch this. And as I was watching the video, my eyes were just widening and widening, thinking, oh my fucking God, what a hit. And I'll tell you what, I am absolutely made up for him. I swear to God, hand on heart, it makes me happier to tell you this story than it would have done if I'd have won that cash myself. I am just so made up for him. He's the nicest, most decent guy. And this is the same guy. This is the thing that last year, 9 months ago, he kind of needed 500 quid to get him over a hump. And now he's got £26,500 in his pocket. And don't worry, this is not some dodgy clip joint casino. This is a UKGC licensed casino. He's already been in touch with them. They have confirmed that they've got a £5,000 a week withdrawal limit, but that they will be paying him in full in £5,000 a week chunks. But one of the thoughts that I had upon watching this was, I got back and said, look, mate, you know what? If I were you, I'd just self-exclude now, and I'd gam-stop yourself as well. Just take that money, because this is as good as it's ever going to get. That is semi-lottery odds to hit that within a relatively small number of spins on a super high volatility slot, going at 90p spins. And I'm sure if you played this game yourself, you will know that 200 quid or 200 odd quid is not much of a bankroll if you would dare to play this at 90p spins. I wouldn't dare to play this at 90p spins. So to hit what he did on his first bonus round, 29,000, what was the actual number? 29,500 times stake on your first bonus round, playing dangerous 90p spins. That for me is a sign from fucking God to stop playing playing online slots. It's like, you know, it's like, give me a sign that it's time to stop playing. That is like Jesus himself appears in the room and says, I think you should take that and stop playing online slots. So I've had a little bit of a back and forth. He's absolutely over the moon about it. He's planning on what he's going to do with the money. And what I've said to him is, do not fucking put a penny of that back. Get yourself GamStopped and just do it properly. He hadn't heard of GamStop, so I've gone through him as to what GamStop is. I've explained that, yes, you can get around it. If you're determined to, you can get around it. But GamStop yourself, as a UK player, you can only play at UK-facing casinos. And just do the sensible thing here and realise that you've been astonishingly, outrageously lucky, and just take the money and put it to good use. And he's agreed with me on that. So I believe he's self-excluded from the casino. He's installed GamBan on his machine, but he's also now going to do the GamStop thing as well and just take the money. He's already got plans for things he wants to do around the house, things that he wants to do elsewhere, things that he can spend the money on, because that is a big chunk of cash. And this is what it comes back to, the video title, when I say life-changing win, and they are not my words, they are his. In one of his follow-up messages, kind of said, you know what, thinking about it, this is a life-changing amount of money for me, because I can do this, and this now, that this time a few days ago I didn't think was going to be possible for years. So when we think about life-changing amounts of money, everyone thinks about winning the fucking lottery, or in the context of online slots we think about winning a progressive jackpot. But, you know, it can all be relative. And this is for a guy who last year, like I said, needed 500 quid to get him over the hump. And as a friend, I was happy to lend him that £500 with absolutely no pressure whatsoever on getting it paid back. And now he's got £26,500 in his pocket. I cannot fucking tell you how absolutely made up for him. I'm over the moon about it. Seriously, I'm happier than if I would have won that money myself. I'm no fucking word of a lie. So there you go. I think that is a fantastic little story. Turning a £25 deposit into just shy of, you can see there, his final balance was just shy of £27,000. That is into dream hit territory. It could not have happened to a nicer person, and I am so happy for him. And he did pay me back all the remaining cash that he owed me, with a nice little chunk on top as well, certainly enough for me to take the whole Degsy clan out for a really good meal at a nice restaurant, which he didn't have to do, but of course it was as a gesture, it was very much appreciated. And he kind of said, it's the least I can do, and in a way I feel a little bit mean. I said, oh, don't be silly, mate. Keep that money yourself and do good things for you and your family with it. So there you go, that's just a little tale for you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will catch up with you next time. But for now it is goodbye, and just feast your eyes upon that incredible selection of wilds. But do remember that the chances of hitting something like that are vanishingly small. So it's important to manage your expectations when you play Dead or Alive 2. We know that it's capable of these insane hits. As I've said before, they have to be paid for from elsewhere on the pay table. You could play that slot all day, every day for a fucking year and not see anything like that. So just please do bear that in mind. But that's it from me. Goodbye.